Hey, what's going on, guys? Sorry, man. I've been gone for a little bit. Um, I've still been dashing. I just haven't been making a lot of content. Um, for a couple of reasons. One, I'm going through a lot of personal stuff. So I really haven't kind of been in the mood to do a lot of content. And two, um, my area has gotten so bad. It's like a lot of the content is honestly quite laughable. And I'm gonna make a video right now. I'm just gonna show you just really bad, some of the really horrible offers that I have gotten the last couple of days. As a platinum driver, well, I mean, I fell out of platinum. I went back to platinum. I fell out of platinum. I went back to platinum, and it's been a roller coaster ride because I'm just not accepting trash no more. I'm done. I'm done with it. So if that means me falling into silver, then it is what it is. Okay. But first of all, I just wanted guys to just tell you something real quick. I don't put a lot of my personal business out on here, you know. But just so you guys know, like, if I'm gone for a couple of days or, you know, um, I've had some people reach out to me asking like, "Hey, are you okay? You good?" Just because I was putting out content every day, and then it goes like a whole week with nothing. So, um, for those people that have reached out, thank you. I appreciate you guys, and um, um, but I'm going through a divorce, guys. It's been pretty tough. Me and my wife, we've been married for 6 years. We've been together for 13. Um, so it's a pretty big deal. And there's a lot of moving pieces. Filling out all kinds of paperwork and going to court, and my lease where we're currently at ends in April, and I have to be out by March. But I was able to find a place that accepted me, and going to be moving in near the end of this month. And then my car's been breaking down. So my car, which by the way is a 2024, it's a brand new car, but it's a lemon, and I'm going through the process of filing papers with lemon law lawyers. Um, and that's another thing going through too, is first the divorce and then the lemon law things, and going through the dealership and GM and all this crap. But yeah, so my car broke down. Had to pay for a tow because I don't have towing on my insurance. I guess I don't know. So I had it towed to the dealership, and it was the fuel pump. So they replaced the fuel pump, which is the second time the fuel pump's been replaced. The second time in 2 months. So, obviously I'm just like, hey, there's got to be an underlying issue that you guys are not seeing or diagnosing, because if the fuel pump broke and you replaced it, and now the new one you put in broke, there's got to be something causing that, I would assume. I mean, I'm not a mechanic, but, so they're just like, oh, well, we'll replace the fuel pump, and then we'll test drive it, make sure everything's good. I don't know. Guys, I'm not a mechanic. So I'm trying to trust their word of judgment, even though I feel like I shouldn't. But so they replaced the fuel pump. Then he called me up, says everything is good. Come get your vehicle. I get it, drive it. I was gonna go do some dashing that night. Because I picked it up at 5:30. They closed at 6. So like around 7:30, it died on me again. Literally a couple hours after getting it back from the shop, it just completely failed. And this time I couldn't even start the car up again. So again, now it's paying for another tow, which I'm 20 miles away from my house, guys. 20 miles away, and even if I had towing covered under my insurance, it would only cover like 5 miles. And I think AAA covers 7. So, I mean, when you're 20 miles out, you no matter what you have, you're going to have to pay out of pocket for fucking towing. So I had to get it towed back to my house. And then the following day, I called them up immediately. Like, you guys are paying for this tow, because I literally just got this car back a couple hours and it went out on me again. So you guys are going to have to pay for it to get towed from my house, because I just had to pay for 20 miles to get it towed back to my house. So you're going to pay to get it towed back there. So that's where it's at. I have a loaner right now. This is not my regular car. And yesterday when I went to go pick up the loaner, they told me that it was the fuel injector. So first it was the fuel pump, and now it's the fuel injector. And I can tell you, again, not no mechanic, but looking a lot of stuff up, the fuel injector probably went because when they put in the fuel pump, they probably didn't clean out the fuel tank. So, all that sediment and all that, the metal shavings from the fuel pump failing probably went into the fuel line and destroyed the freaking fuel injector. I'm assuming, from what I'm read, it's common if they don't clean out the fuel tank after putting in a brand new fuel pump, that can cause that. So I'm assuming that was on their part, and it was negligence on their part, even though they won't admit it, and they'll probably tell me to my face that they cleaned out the fuel tank, even though I don't think they did. But so now I'm waiting for the fuel injector to come in, and then they're going to put that in there, and then so they're going to test drive it like 80 miles or whatever, just to make sure that it's good. So besides the issues with my car, I haven't been able to do a lot of dashing because I just got the loaner. I went 2 days without a car, so I couldn't do nothing in 2 days. And then going through the divorce it's just really been hard, and packing up, because I'm moving on the 23rd, so that's not fun, getting boxes and boxes and just packing and stuff like that. And I don't know, guys, it's been rough. So anyways, I don't want to bore you with all my life stuff. And so just to show you a couple of the offers over the last couple of days, this was taken on the 17th. So the last couple of days, and again, I haven't drove much, you know what I'm saying? I had to, borrow a car, and then for a little while. So I got a couple hours in. But you're not going to, dash all day in someone's car. So, now that I got the loaner, I could care less. I'll rack up miles on this thing. I plan on being out here all day. It's 10:20 at the time of recording. And I plan on being out here until probably 10 o'clock tonight, because I need to make money. I've lost so much within the last couple of days of not being able to work. But so this was from the 17th. Here's one of the orders. God awful. Red Lobster, right? $8.40 for 11.9 miles. Garbage, man. Here's another one. Moonstar. $16.40 for 17 miles. 17 miles. And then you have to drive 17 miles back, because that's going to kind of leave you way down south, way out of zone, not near anything. So now you're looking at, 34 miles for $16? Laughable. Here's another one. $14 for almost 11 miles. Like, these are horrible, guys. I mean, these are horrible. Even though it shows there's an $11.75 tip, I mean, that's good, right? I mean, people would, be like, oh yeah, $12 tip, but look at the mileage, Here's another one. $12, this was on the 18th. $12.90 for 15.5 miles. 15.5. So at the end of the day, you're making $12.90 for what? 31 miles? I don't know where they come up with this stuff, man. $2.40 for 3.1 miles. Guys, I mean, these orders are super bad, and it's a shame. It's really a shame, because when I first started doing DoorDash in this market, to be honestly, I wasn't even tiered. I was probably not even silver at the time, because I was just starting out, and it even not even being tiered, I think I was receiving better offers than this. And after a while, when I started, watching more and more videos and watching a lot of content creators talk about, platinum's the way to be, and I quickly, said, okay, I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to take a lot of these Yankee orders and jacked up orders and messed up orders and just get myself up to platinum. And then when I got to platinum, life was good for a long time. For a while, it was good. And I didn't even fall out of platinum. I was platinum for months and months. And I was good. I was getting really good offers, really quality offers. Because at one point in time, I was thinking about not even continuing doing this, because I was like, I'm just not making any money. But then when I got to platinum and things were good, I was getting $20, $30, $40 offers, $60 catering orders. I was getting really, making really good money, for a long time. And all of a sudden, lately, it's been horrible. It's been really, really, really bad. And there are a ton, and I can tell you right now, and I'm not saying this is the main reason, but it's one of the reasons. There are a ton of new drivers, literally a ton. I've literally been going into restaurants and seeing faces that I haven't seen before. I even had a guy come up to me asking me how he cancels an order. So he seen that I had my red DoorDash bag, and he was like, "Hey, you must work for DoorDash. Do you have that bag?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "How do you cancel an order? I've been here for 20 minutes." So he didn't even know how to do that. So there's a lot of new drivers, and that's part of the reason I'm assuming that I'm just getting crap of crap. But you would think that they would give the crap of the crap to the new drivers, right? People that have not proven themselves. Like, why? If I'm a Platinum Dasher, why am I getting, especially orders like this? Why am I getting stuff like this going 16 miles away? You know, look at these crap offers. 16 for 17 miles. What? Why am I getting this? I mean, I thought the whole benefit of being platinum, right, guys, was you get high priority, first priority, high priority to good paying offers. That is not a good paying offer. If you do the math, and I don't have the math on me, but you do the math, dollar to miles, when you include the return trip, you're essentially paying DoorDash to go deliver. You're not even making any money. It's ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous, and it's just gotten to a point where I was happier part time. I was happier part time. Because when you're part time, right? Say I go out on a Friday night, or say I go out on a Saturday and I only make $60 or $70. You don't care. 60, $70, right? When you require this as a full-time income, it changes your whole way of thinking, because now you can't just go out there for, $50, right? So now you have to, you have a quota. Like, I got to make 100 for the day. I got to make 150 for the day. So then when you go out there and you're out there all day and you're sitting at $65, you get really down and out, because you're just like, man, I'm not going to make my goal, And that's the one thing that I really hate. Is I love the freedom. I love the flexibility. There's a lot of good perks to this job. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not going to bash DoorDash, because for a while they were good, and they helped me, put food on the table when we didn't have the money, and, was able to, get my kid basketball sneakers and things like that. So I'm not going to sit here and bash them and say they're a shit company. It's not that, but there has been a major shift, for sure. And it's just been really, really hard to do this full time. Now, I'm in the midst of trying to find a full-time job. The problem is I'm 47, and it's really hard to be 47 and try to find a full-time job, because people want to hire younger individuals. That's just how it is. I do have a chance right now with FedEx. I did pass the road test. I did pass the background test. They're paying $200 a day. They're an independent contractor. You get $200 a day, and you work 5 days a week. I have 2 days off. So that's $1,000 a week. But that's tough work. And at 47, I don't know if I can handle that long term. I mean, not everything in the truck that you're going to be delivering is going to be $10 packages, right? I mean, I've been watching videos of people carrying couches by themselves up 3 flights of stairs. Like, I don't know at my age if I can do that, long term. I mean, they do give you a dolly, but still, that's a lot long term. When you got to do 3 of those back to back to back, I mean, that's a tough day. When you're trying to have 125 or 150 stops with 200 packages, that's tough. And I mean, it's decent money. I mean, even if it took me 10 hours at $200 a day, that would be $20 an hour. Most of the drivers say they finish in 6-7 hours. So, I mean, if that's the case, then you would average about $23 an hour. So, I mean, it's not like it's crap money, but, and it's definitely going to save my vehicle, because I'm driving a truck, so, I mean, it's not like I'm using my own vehicle to do packages or nothing like that, but it's just a physically demanding job. you know. And it's not like with like this job, like if it's raining out real bad or if it's snowing out real bad, I can just stay home. Like if you're doing that kind of work, you have to be out in those elements no matter what, you know. And the trucks aren't that great. They're not good in weather. They don't have air conditioning, so you leave the doors open in the summer, and then in the winter you're freezing. So it's I don't know if I want to do it. I just don't. So I'm debating. It's in the air. I mean, all I got to do is just take my drug test, my physical, and I'm good because I passed everything else, and I'm sure I would definitely pass that. But you know, I'm probably just gonna maybe start it, maybe see what it's like. You know, maybe work a day. You know, try to still look for other things, but I can't do DoorDash full time in this market anymore. Now, maybe if I moved to a different market, I would have better luck because it's very market dependent and everything is different, right? But in this market in Colorado, I can't see doing this full time. I can't. I mean, I'm scraping the barrel because, you know, I go out in the morning and I get crap. I go out in the afternoon and I get crap. And then I go out at night and I get decent, like, you know, 50, $60. So, you know, now it's like, okay, well, if I make my $20 in the morning or 25 or 30 in the morning or 20, 25, 30 in the afternoon and then 50 at night, I can probably scrape out $100, maybe a little bit over, you know, like I'll show you what I did last night, right? That's what I did last night, 108 in 6 hours. So that comes out, I didn't do the math, but 17, $18 an hour, somewhere around there, 18 maybe. So, I mean, it wasn't horrible, you know, 12 out of 16. So, I mean, I did decline the 4 offers. You know, on the week, I only have 176. Well, I mean, I haven't gone out a lot, you know, this week. But this is what I'm talking about, you know. I mean, 6.5, you know, it's only an hour and a half away from a full day. And I barely made $100. So, you know, I don't know if I can do this long term in this market. And it's sad because I like the job. I like the job because it gives me a lot of flexibility. You know, like I don't want to miss my daughter's basketball games, you know. She really likes the support, you know, and her mom's not really big into sports. So daddy's going to be at all the games, you know, and I don't want to miss that, you know. And if I have something to do, I want to be able to just log out and then go do it, you know. So I'm kind of sad of giving up this job full time because it's given me a lot of flexibility. But at the same time, I have to think like the place that I'm going to be moving to, like, you know, the rent and the utilities, like, you know, before, like me and my wife were splitting it. Now there's not going to be no split. It's going to be me paying everything, me paying the full rent, me paying the full utilities, me paying the car payment, you know, me paying the insurance, my own cell phone bill, my cable, internet, you know, food. You know, before we were splitting everything. So I was only paying half of that. Now I'm going to have to be paying everything. So, you know, being able to have to do that now off of $100 a day. I mean, even if I worked all 7 days a week, that's only $700 for the week. That's only $2,800 a month. My rent will be $15 out of that $28. You know, so obviously I would have to make more than $100 a day. I'm going to have to be making close to maybe $200 a day. You know, because if I did $200 a day times the 5 days, then that would give me 1,000. And then if I wanted to, I can DoorDash the other 2 days and make another 300. Well, if it's on a weekend, if it's on a weekday, you know, 100 and 100. So maybe those 2 days would be 200. You know, but point is, I would be making at least $1,200 a week compared to what I'm making now, which is $600 a week. You know, that's double than what I'm making now. So, you know, yeah, the job is physically demanding. I don't know if I can do it long term, but maybe I can just stick it out until I can find something else. I mean, it's really hard to find a job, especially at 47. It's really hard. If I was in my 30s, yeah, I remember when I was in my 30s, I would quit a job and have another job the next day. Literally, that's how it was. I mean, one, the job market's different now, but two, age is a factor. They even have a thing on the application now saying, "Are you over 40?" I'm like, what? Why would they even ask that? First of all, it's stupid to even ask if you're over 40 because you obviously I'm providing you my birth date, so you can clearly see I'm over 40. But to ask that, I feel like, you know, they skim right to that part, and then once you check that you're over 40, they just throw the application out. I mean, I'm not sure if that's what they do, but that's how I feel. Like, why would they even ask that now? You know? And so I don't know, guys. we will see. I'll keep you guys updated on this journey. I'm gonna go out here now. I'm gonna dash. I'll don't know if I'm gonna do 12 hours worth of full screenshots. I'll take some though. I'll take some good screenshots. I'll take some bad screenshots, and then I'll do the numbers at the end. And then we'll go from there. But sorry if I made this too long. Sorry if I bored you with a lot of my personal stuff. I just wanted guys to give you a heads up because I know a couple of people have reached out to me and was like asking if I'm okay. So I felt like the need to kind of like put this out and then just, let everybody know like, hey, if I'm not on, it's not that I don't want to do content. I actually like doing it. And once I move, I'll probably be able to do it more often. Just because I'll have my own place and it'll be quiet. I won't have my stepson coming down trying to photobomb, or trying to, say something dumb, behind the camera and I have to stop and restart it, or edit it out or whatever, or dogs barking or, people playing the TV or, running up and down the stairs, it'll be nice and quiet. So I'll be able to make these videos without interruption. So I'm moving on Monday, the 23rd. That's the day that I'm moving in. So I'm going to be working a lot just to have extra move-in money because the money I got right now is just basically for expenses because I have to pay money to move in. And then on the 1st, I have to pay the rent for the 1st of March. So it's kind of like getting hit double. And then on top of it, the divorce attorneys is making me pay rent at my previous place until I move out. So, I'm kind of like paying 3 rents now. But anyways, guys, I wish you guys are the best. I hope you're out there making good decisions, making money, and have a blessed day.